Histograms. A histogram is used to show the distribution of data. Data for a histogram is organized by intervals instead of individual responses. Okay, using the total number of points scored from past Super Bowls, create a histogram with 5 intervals. Okay, it's going to walk us through the steps. Find the range. In case you've forgotten what that means we are going to take the maximum number of points scored. So maximum number of points scored, if this will let me write, it's being annoying today. And we're going to subtract the minimum number of points scored. So, and I'm assuming this is by both teams because there was like people wondering how in the world you could get a football game with 74 points, but it's like the 2 teams added together. So, what's the highest number of points in any of this data from these past 14 or 24 Super Bowls? How many is it? 74 is the biggest number, right? So that's an important one to point out. So our biggest one is 74. What's our smallest number? Okay, is there anything smaller than 31? Yeah, there's a 16 in there. That's smaller than 31. Okay, so let's subtract those and we get 58. Now, that means that there are 58 numbers between these 2 numbers. But if we actually want to count the number we start with, like 16, we want to always add 1 to that. So that would be we need to break this into intervals based on 59. Does that make sense? Like if you were to start at 16 and count up to 74, that is going to be 59 increments, not 58, even though we subtracted them and got 58. Because that would be counting the first number as a 0, and we want to count it as the first number, like 1. So that's why I'm adding 1 to it. Now I want to divide that number by the number of intervals needed. So if you see the chart we already have written down here, oh, ignore my lines that are already in here because we're going to do something a little different. How many rows are in this chart for us to divide up this data? The rows in the table would be this direction. And for our histogram, we're going to be doing bars, which will be vertical. So how much space do we have to do our bars to fill in our data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then we're going to take the number we just got, which was 59, because we took this subtraction and we added 1. We're going to divide that by 5, and that is 11 point something. Let's see what it is. Unless you guys want to tell me what it is. 59 divided by 5, 11.8. Now, do we want to do decimals at all? Do any of our numbers have decimals in them? No, let's just round that up to 12. Okay? So because we're going to round that up to 12, and 12 times 5 is 60, that means we are going to actually, and we only need 59, that means we have an extra number. So that means we either need to start at 15 or end at 75. What would you rather do? Start at 16 and end at 74, or start at 16 and end at 75? We just needed 1 extra in order for it to fit. It doesn't matter where we add it on. So set up our intervals. You may need to increase either end of the data to keep them equal. So should we add it at the beginning or the end? Do we care? Sure. We don't care. Okay, I'm just going to throw it in on the beginning. So let's start at 15. And we're going to have 12 in every category. But remember how the first one counts as 1. So what we're going to do is add 11 to get 12 in each category. So this one will be 15, and then we add 11. What's 11 plus 15? Yeah, sorry, I'm just figuring out what I wanted to write here. We're going to say, oh, I guess I could leave the 15. Start at 15, add 11 to get 12 numbers in each group. Remember how I said the notes were kind of complicated? The assignment's not this complicated? Yeah, just remember that. We're doing this part together. Okay, so 15 to 26. So then the next one's going to start on 27 because this one ended at 26. So now we're going to add 11 to 27, which takes us to what? Good, good. Then we're going to start this one at 39, and we're going to add 11 to 39, which takes us to where? 50. Awesome. And then we're going to start at 51, and we're going to add 11 to get to the end of that interval. 51 plus 11, 62. Good. Then we're going to start the next interval at 63 and add 11 to that. Did we accomplish what we wanted to, or are we including all of the numbers from 16 to 74? Yay! It worked, and they're divided up evenly. Okay, here's the tricky-ish part. And that's too zoomed out. Let me zoom it in just a little bit more. Does that help? Yes, it does. Okay, we're going to go through each number and figure out which category it goes in, and we're going to make a tick mark to put it in that category for our frequency table. So let's look at the first number, 51. Where does 51 go? 51 goes in the fourth box. So I'm counting one number in this category for 51. Where does 16 go? First box. Where does 74 go? The last box. Where does 62 go? Fourth box. Do you see what I'm doing? 34, where does it go? Second box, because it's between 27 and 38. We have a 52. Where does 52? Right here. 51. 65. 38. 56. I don't know if you guys do this, but usually when I'm making tally marks like this, when I get to 5, I put my fifth one diagonally because then I can count my 5s. So that's what I just did with 56. 48. 50. 31 goes in our second interval. 46 goes into our third interval. Wait, yeah, 46, sorry. 31 goes into our second interval. 45 goes into our third interval. 61 goes into our fourth interval. 69 goes into the fifth interval. 37 goes in the second, and that gives us a total of 5 there, so I wrote that line diagonally. You don't have to do it that way. 41 is going to give us our fifth in the third interval. 39 gives us a sixth in the third interval. 53 is the fourth one. 55 is the fourth one. And 56 is the fourth one. There, we counted them up. If you want to make sure you got them all, there are 24 scores here. So what you can do is add these up and make sure they add up to 24. So we have 1, 5, 6. So that's 6 plus 6, which is 12. Plus 9, which is 21. Plus 3, which is 24. Did we get them all? We didn't miss any, right? So that's a way to check and make sure you got them all. Okay, so here we go. We're going to make our histogram now. Let me increase our view again so we can see this whole thing a little better. All right, we're going to label everything. So I'm just going to count by ones here. Hopefully there's enough room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if the person who created this chart expected us to do our intervals differently, but because we did them this way, we have one that goes up to 9, so we need to extend our graph up a little bit. And then we need to label the what these categories mean. So this one is 16 to 26. No, 15 to 26, right? 15 to 26. And then this one is 27 to 38. And then this one is 39 to 50. And here we have 51 to 62. I think we probably could have avoided going up to 9 if we had actually added the extra number at the end and done 16 to 75 instead. Because we had numbers that were 15 that would have, or 51, that would have changed. Maybe not. I feel like that would have adjusted it somehow so that we didn't have quite so many in this category. But it's too late now. We're done. We're going with it the way it is. So 63 to 74 here. So now we create like a bar graph, only it's not by categories, it's by intervals. So our first interval only, no, I don't want a circle. What am I doing? Our first interval only has 1. Our second interval, I didn't hand out colored pencils today, sorry, but if you want one, you're always welcome to grab a colored pencil partway through class or whatever. 5 there. And then this one has 6. And this one has 9. And this one has 3. So I go up to the correct number for each of the bars. We just don't call this a bar graph, we call it a histogram because it represents the data in intervals instead of in specific categories. It's a difference. Okay, so for each one of these, I'm going to fill in a color. Let's choose something. Just for fun, filling these in. Oh, pretty. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. So that one's going to go there. And this one. Let's do a nice dark green. And then this one. Blue. Cool. I like it. There's my histogram. You don't have to do different colors. You can do all the same color because it's just showing you what line it goes to for you to know what the number represents, right?